Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Social Studies Class 6, Lesson 4. The name of the lesson is Measuring the Weather. In this lesson, we will read about different tools that are used to measure the weather. We have read in the chapter 2 what a weather is. Weather is the climatic condition of a place on any specific day. But how do we measure the weather? We use a special apparatus or tools which are designed to measure the weather. They help us measuring the amount of rain, the direction of the wind, minimum and maximum temperature, and the air pressure. These tools are named as number 1, rain gauge, number 2, wind vane, number 3, thermometer, and number 4, barometer. Weather is measured, recorded, and then used to make forecasts about the future. Number 1, rain gauge. A rain gauge is used to measure the amount of rain that has fallen. It consists of a metal or plastic container with a funnel at the top. As you can see in the picture on the right, there is a metal or plastic container which has a funnel on the top. Inside the container there is a glass cylinder which has marked in millimeters. The rain falls on the funnel and collects in the cylinder where it is measured every day. The second tool is wind vane, and the wind vane is the simplest device to measure the direction of the wind. It has a metal arrow with a tail which is mounted on a pole or a roof so that it will turn around according to the direction of the wind. It points in the direction from which the wind is blowing, and it has four marks named as north, south, east, and west. The third very important tool for measuring the weather is a thermometer. A thermometer measures the weather, but the thermometer which is used to measure the weather is different from the usual thermometer that we use at our homes and hospitals. For weather, we need a maximum minimum thermometer, and this is a U-shaped glass tube with a steel bulb at each upper end, as you can see in the picture. A U-shaped glass tube and has a bulb at each upper end. It is used to measure maximum and minimum temperatures of a place. One bulb is completely filled with alcohol, while the other bulb is partly filled. The bottom of the U-shaped tube contains mercury. Two pieces of steel float on top of the mercury columns, and this steel is used to mark the highest and the lowest temperatures recorded in a day. These pointers in the thermometer are reset by the magnet or a good shake. As air temperature rises, the liquid in the bulb expands and pushes the mercury column towards the bulb with the vacuum. And as the air temperature falls, the liquid in the bulb contracts and the weight of the liquid in the other bulb forces the mercury column back. When the mercury in the hot side goes back down, it means that the temperature has fallen. It leaves the steel marker behind so that we can see the highest point recorded. And when the cold column does the same, except when the temperature rises, the steel marker is left on the bottom to record the lowest temperature that it has reached. Another tool which we use to measure the weather is a barometer, and it is a very important tool for forecasting the weather. It measures the pressure or the weight of the air. There are two kinds of barometer, the aneroid barometer and the mercury barometer. The aneroid barometer looks like a clock and it can be carried easily. It shows the air pressure on a dial. Inside the case is a collapsible or breathable airtight box of a thin metal with most of it pumped out. As the air pressure changes, it pushes the sides of the boxes in or out according to the air pressure. The end of the box has a string attached to it, and the string, it works as the dial, and it is used to move the dialer of the clock. Another kind of barometer is a mercury barometer, which consists of a glass tube about a meter long. It is closed at one end and open at the other. It is filled with mercury, and the open end is placed in a ball of mercury. As you can see on the right, the glass tube is placed in a bowl of mercury. One end is open and one end is closed. It is filled with mercury. This acts as a kind of scale. How? The weight of the air pushes the mercury up and down so that we can see the pressure of the air. The average height of the mercury is 760 mm. With a change in altitude, it changes accordingly. When we are at a higher altitude, it decreases, and when we are closer to the sea level, it increases. Also, this kind of barometer is fragile, unlike the aneroid barometer, and it cannot be carried anywhere easily. Now that we have completed the reading and explanation of the unit, we are moving on to the exercises. You need to do this exercise in your social studies notebook. Exercise A. Answer the following questions. Question number 1 is, what is a rain gauge? Answer. A rain gauge is an instrument that measures the amount of rain that has fallen. Question number 2. What is a wind vane? Answer. Wind vane is the simplest weather measuring device that shows the direction of wind. Question number 3. What is a maximum minimum thermometer? Answer. A maximum minimum thermometer is used for weather purpose. It instantly shows us the highest and lowest temperature. Question number 4. Give the construction of a maximum minimum thermometer. Answer. It has a U-shaped glass tube and the mercury goes up and down in both arms. Two small pieces of steel floats at the top of the columns of mercury. Question number 5 is, what is a barometer and why is it important? Name the kinds of barometer. Answer. A barometer is a device that measures the air pressure or weight of the air. There are two kinds of barometer. Number 1, the aneroid barometer. Number 2, the mercury barometer. Question number 6 is, draw the diagram of a rain gauge and a mercury barometer in your notebook. Now we have completed the chapter. In this chapter, we learned about 4 tools that are used to measure the weather: a rain gauge, wind vane, thermometer, and a barometer. Now your homework is to make a title page of the lesson in your notebook, write down the questions and answers, and also draw the diagrams mentioned in exercise A. See you in the next class. Allah Hafiz.